There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
2018 will be the best year ever, hands down.
I second that emotion.
That's what I'm talking about. That is Robert Halbert you're hearing. Matt's on the mic running it hot. Matt is a magician over here. Matt, because he, Zach is our, vacationed out on us. And so Matt's over here running the video, the sound, the everything. I mean,
right. So if any of that doesn't sound quite right, it's because my mind's in a million different places right now. It's like flying a space shuttle over here.
You know what my dad used to say about excuses?
What's that?
They're like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink.
Some are just bigger than
I call it reason. I call it a reason.
Yeah, that's that kind of what they call that realist way of looking. That I hate the word realist. You
hate the word realist?
Yeah, I do.
I'm pretty well a realist. I'm more of I would say more of a just going to be brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
Maybe not realist, but
I'm an internal optimist. Like my wife is like, you're always overshooter. And like it's like I was like, oh man, we're gonna buy this piece of land and build this house. It's gonna be great. And it's
do it
real fast. And then it's been 3 years, and we are just now about to break ground.
Are y'all breaking ground?
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Amy gets on to me all the time because I'm always,
it'd be great. Let's do it.
You got these people. Oh look, they're doing so good. They'll screw it up.
Is she the opposite, or is she an optimist like you?
She's she's a journalist, so she still questions most everything more.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I'm really quick to just be like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna so I don't question or investigate. I just I'm gonna do it. Let's go. Yeah. She questions
I do the same thing at home. I'm very much an optimist. I'm very much of if something bad happens, I always have this feeling that it's going to work out, and I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah.
I've probably just been, I've been blessed for my life and not really hit any terrible hard times, but I always have that feeling inside of me that things are going to work out. And my wife's not the same way, so we're constantly kind of going back and forth over issues where it's like, trust me, I feel good about this one, and sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes it's not. Not great, but I prefer to be that way.
I just figure I always figure it out somehow. I'll figure something out. Won't be the end of the world. I laughed about this first headline because we kind of both were kind of on both ends of the spectrum. I see yours. I could probably be on the other side of the spectrum as well. But its headline was UCLA quarterback Josh Burrows doesn't want to be a high pick on the wrong team. So this guy is the quarterback for UCLA Bruins, and he is projected to be, if not the number one pick in the top of the draft. So if you're usually in top of the draft, it's usually really a bad team that you're getting drafted to because they have a low pick. Sometimes it's not, but basically the Cleveland Browns have been noted as being the quarterback killer of all NFL teams. Like, they haven't had a successful season in so long, it's unreal, and they haven't had a successful quarterback. They've had high draft pick, number one draft pick after number one draft pick, and quarterbacks don't work out. So he's basically saying he don't want to play for the Cleveland Browns. Now, we've seen this before. Eli Manning did not want to go to the Chargers, told him he didn't want to go. The Chargers drafted him. They traded that to the Giants. That worked out. John Elway did not want to go to the Baltimore Colts and told them that. They drafted him, and he said, I'm going to sit out until they traded him to the Denver Broncos. That worked out for him. So this isn't the first time.
Sure.
This isn't just a modern era, entitled young kid thing. This has been before. But overall, this guy's set up to make millions, and he's saying, I want to go where I want to go. What's your thoughts around that?
I mean, look. If I am in this example, the Cleveland Browns, and this is what this kid said, if I was another team, I don't know that I would want to pick this kid up. If you're in that position, I think I want the guy that's going to walk in guns a-blazing, ignorance on fire. By the way, Heath has a book titled that. Y'all should go buy it. That thinks he can, that has the confidence and also humble enough to realize it's going to take a lot of work. That can come in and change that.
Okay,
change the whole system around.
Let me pose this to you then. You've got a godson that is a phenomenal high school football player. He's going to be at a D1 school more than likely, right?
At some point,
as a receiver, he'll more likely be. He'll more likely have some opportunities with some D1 colleges. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's a good kid, good athlete. let's take scenario last. Patrick Mahomes. I bring him up because Patrick Mahomes is from East Texas, okay? I know his family and all that. So, he was drafted by the Chiefs. Andy Reid has been known as one of the best quarterback gurus known to man, right? The Chiefs are a very solid team. They have a decent veteran quarterback, so probably a year or two that are, sitting behind, and there's a strong young team nucleus, and Andy Reid is a really good, strong, established coach, right? Would you want your godson getting drafted by the Chiefs or by the Browns?
I mean,
would you want knowing the Cleveland Browns deal versus Andy Reid there in Chiefs?
do you have that choice though?
I don't know.
Because I mean, there's 11 teams from the time.
Hey, look, John Elway and Eli Manning made their
so-
decisions, right? So what would you rather for your godson?
I mean, to me, I think you play the hand you're dealt in that situation.
You would rather him go. You would be okay with him going if you have the choice. You could wave your wand and he'd go the Chiefs or the Browns.
Well, I mean, but in reality, we're not waving a wand
yeah,
here.
well,
This
no,
young man
yeah,
says,
he
hey.
is absolutely he is. He's saying, "I'm letting you know, I don't want to come play for you."
Right. And that
Somebody
tells
else will
me-
draft him. Would you agree?
Sure.
So
At some point, yeah.
if you were sitting there and you got son, you're going, look, Browns, don't. It's a losing organization. Everything about it's bad. I want him to go with the Chiefs. That's not.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I don't.
Do you think this harms his chances?
No, I mean, not at
Exactly.
all.
He's
Not
still
at
gonna get
all.
drafted high,
He's going to get
correct?
drafted high.
Okay.
I mean, the bottom line is what I'm trying to get at with this though is, if you are the Browns, hence, if this is the best player on the board, this is the one you want. I wouldn't draft him. You've got to. They need. It's just like going into like what we do. If you go into an area or an office or a territory that's torn to hell, that may not be the best place for certain people. But then there's that other guy that could go in there and you say, man, that's impossible to turn around. But, that goes into it with that mindset of, I'm going to turn this thing around and make it work. I think that's the guy that
but see, that's what I think is key, is it's all about the fit on both sides of the ball.
Sure.
Here's what I think a lot of people do. Tell me if you're wrong. They'll go in interviewing and stuff, and they will sell themselves on a job that they know that maybe they don't want or don't like the people or don't do that because they want something. Now, there's times of your life. You got to make money. You need to make money. You get your time to fill in, okay? You got to find something that'll just get by, okay? And do your hardest and work the best and be looking for your passion outside of that. And when you're really looking for that passion, you need to be looking for signs and things that's a place you would want to be as well.
Sure. And I'll tell you, like when you talk about that, like in this situation, the Browns are going to talk to this young man.
Yes.
He needs to put together 10 questions to ask them that are tough questions to ask them. Where do you see your organization in 5 years? Why is it the last 20 years you've been in the situation you've been in, or the 10 years, whatever it is, and really find out where they're at. I disagree from a fact that, especially, when you start talking from that position, it's the quarterback. That's what the quarterback is the guy. You don't hear him going, hey, we're going to go left tackle this team over here,
Yeah,
the left tackle.
But you can't. This is the same thing as the other. Like, listen, would you, right now, for instance, okay, Affleck is our biggest competitor. You want to go work for Affleck?
There's no need for me to go work for Affleck.
I know, but let's just say it was out there. So it's like you choosing
I
where
went
you
to
want to
work-
work.
I
You
worked
choose
for
where you
Affleck.
want to work.
Sure.
Why can't this young man choose where he wants to work?
He can do whatever he wants to do.
Don't you think it's more so? It's like the Browns.
But
You need to be better to where these people don't want to leave you.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. My point on this completely is I'm not if I'm the Cleveland Browns, and don't get me wrong, they've got to fix their front office no matter what. But if I'm the Cleveland Browns, you need a dog, man. You're going to have somebody that in their mind thinks they can come in and save the world, because,
Your world, in your organization.
Because at the end of the day, that guy's not ready. He's not mentally prepared to go in there and do that. Is there somebody out there that could? Absolutely. But I don't,
But and I think that's one of the biggest points here is finding those fits. Too many times in life, we will settle for both ways, which is we won't look for the fit maybe personally or professionally. But no, understanding there are times and seasons in your life that you've got to do something to get by. And sometimes that can turn into your fit. I'll give you a great example. My brother, he left his job when the oil field turned down. Obviously, they laid off tons of people there, and he's like, I just need to make money right now. It was around Christmas time, so he just took a job driving for a rental truck place. He has his CDL. That was not. He's been a logistics manager and all this. So going back to just driving a rental truck was a big step down for him. But he also knew I need to provide for my family. So he did.
What's he doing for him now?
Guess what happened? That was with a company that was on the big time blow up, like wanting to expand. And within 2 years, They moved him to the Metroplex, and now he's a general manager over one of the fastest-growing stores in their organization.
Exactly.
On poise to be the next regional vice president, the whole 9 yards. Here's what he did, though. My brother didn't take that job with a piss-poor attitude that, I'm driving this truck.
I'm going to be the hardest working MF for here.
Yes. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show them all
exactly
that I'm going to be more. And just so happened, you can say, he was lucky, right place, right time. No, he tried things.
The harder you work, the luckier you get, buddy.
His attitude was right.
Sure.
If he'd had a piss poor attitude, like most people would have a piss poor attitude taking that in between job or that thing they don't want to do, right?
Right.
But you know what? He was the right place, right time, and he had a great attitude. They saw that, and now he never thought that was it, though.
Right. And go back to it's the mindset of this young man. You just can't. If that guy's going, please, I'll turn that place around. You would be surprised what could happen. At that place. If he's going, I don't want no part of that. I mean,
don't you think that's what they've been doing wrong? They've been trying to fit people that aren't their fits for so long.
For sure. I mean, they could go get the next coming to Joe Montana, and they're going to be terrible until they fix their front office. It's just like any other business. If the upper level is jacked up or something's wrong or something's not great, it's never going to get any better until they fix it.
Make sure you're honest with your employees when you're hiring them to look for the right people, and as an employee, make sure you're asking the right questions.
Ask questions. I think a lot of people go into an interview and never ask a question.
Yeah, we're going to see Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Name of Waterboy, that's funny. We're going to be back to second segment, the second shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
Hear ye, great news for all of you guys. Colonial Life is hiring some salespeople from all over the country. No matter where you are in the United States of America, if you're looking for a sales career, if you want to just learn more about what Colonial Life does, send an email to mbeltran@coloniallife.com, mbeltran@coloniallife.com. We'll get you set up with the right people you need to talk to and see if you're going to win that job. If you're in the Metroplex area, great. If you're in St. Louis, great. We're going to have office there for you. mbeltran@coloniallife.com and change your career today.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
This next topic, this has to be one of the most universally hated people across the world, but yet everybody's so entertained and enamored by it, and I can't stand it.
Just get into it, man. Let's go, because we could talk about this for probably a pretty good bit.
Headline: LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball, everybody know that name, Ball, have already been turned down by a European team in the most petty way. What were you saying, Matt? Give us the synopsis of this.
So basically, if you're not familiar with Lavar Ball, he's the very outspoken.
He's got to be the most universally hated person.
I think so. Yeah, he's
I think it's okay to say you don't like him.
I think so. Yeah, he's one of those people where it's like it's not controversial to say I'm not cool with this guy.
Yeah.
So he is the father of a basketball player, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Who is good. Nobody questions how good he is. But he has said LaVar Ball has said some things in the past, such as his son is better than Michael Jordan, and he's the second coming of,
he's an idiot.
of whomever,
Let's
and
be honest.
has basically just made a lot of statements about.
But he's basically saying his two younger kids.
Yeah.
He's saying he didn't want them to go to college or anything. He wanted them to just go play in European leagues for a couple of years.
Right. So he's got a couple of kids who are also pretty decent at basketball. He's pulled one of them out of high school, one of them out of college.
Did he pull the one out of college, or the one kind of that
No, he pulled him out.
Fingers over
because UCLA was going to suspend him.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And
so
he got
basically
pissed and said he didn't want them being suspended.
Listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying.
Yes, I agree.
So it's basically like we're all sitting around playing marbles on the floor here, and then you get pissed off because you didn't like the way I shot your marbles, and so you left and picked everything up and left.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yes.
What
Right.
he should be doing is sticking his foot up his son's ass for going over to China and stealing something.
I agree.
Bottom line.
I agree.
There's number one for you.
But what was hilarious about this is that these overseas teams, one of them said, we got a job opening as a security guard?
Right. Yeah. Let me find it's I don't know exactly. It's one of the teams in the European League, a Lithuanian team, and said.
What's the name of the team? Can you say that?
Let me give it a shot here. Lietkabelis Panvezes.
No, we'll find out what that is later.
I'm sure I probably said a terrible word or something like that in Lithuanian. But yeah, basically they tweeted back at them saying, yeah, we've got openings at the security staff since they have an experience in this field. Thumbs up emoji.
That's shooting them at them for getting arrested. That's great. That's hilarious.
Well, but yeah, I mean the team. These guys are probably pretty decent basketball players, and the team says,
but they're already tired of the circus.
I'm not going to even give you a look. We're shutting you down right now, and we're going to tweet something snarky about it because
it's a joke.
Yeah, we don't respect you at all.
And the only reason they did that because they understand it is universally okay to not like Lavar Ball.
Right.
That's how bad he's pushed everybody. Is that I mean. Listen, we got tons of snowflakes in this world. Everybody gets pissed off about everything in the world. So, for everybody to not be pissed off whenever you talk bad about Lavar Ball, you've done something bad.
Right. It's not going to hurt them one bit to send out this tweet that would otherwise probably be like, man, why are you guys being so mean to a couple of kids? Nobody's going to care because Lavar Ball is such an awful dude.
If you let's back out of it and look at it from
UCLA suspended him, which should have happened.
Absolutely. If it would have been anybody else, they would have kicked him off the team
forever.
It wouldn't even been a question. The thing like look at it from a parental side of things. Okay, my kids can do no wrong, even though they did wrong. Number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, you're stepping in the middle of everything for them. I feel sorry for when these guys get married. What
Oh God,
is he going to come over and tell them how to?
If any woman marries any of them, they're crazy. That's what they get.
That's a crazy parent, crazy mama, whatever you want to call it, to the fullest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be that way, be honest with do it the right way as far as making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and handling their business the right way. There's no way that it's embarrassing to think about.
I umpired Little League Baseball when I was 16.
I did for about 2 days, and then your Uncle Cliff tore my ass up out there, and I quit.
So I was a Little League Baseball umpire, and then I was a little dribblers deal. And I realized and learned real quick that parents were horrible. You're talking about like fourth graders, and it's like brutal, bloody murder. And I look at it and go, you can't be, as a parent, you can't be involved in every aspect. Your kid has to fall on their own butt. You can't guide every direction for them. This guy's still trying to guide him for his son that's 21 years old.
What's really sad, though, too, is when you look at it from just Little League, there's parents out there that think their kid's the next coming to Babe Ruth, and they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
Yeah.
And they're sitting up there, and it's like, why are you – if your kid loves it, let him play. If he's out here because you're making him be out here, what do you do? It's just – parents have a hard time being honest about what their kids are and what they can do.
I want my daughter to be a NASCAR driver really bad. Okay? But I'm going to put her in some cars early.
He's going to put her in some cars. Did Jenny know that?
She hadn't quite been on board with that yet. I'm still working. I'm still selling.
She didn't know just how serious you are about this.
I want to be there when she finally agrees to it just to see what
But here's the thing. If my daughter gets in it and she wants nothing to do with it, well,
why are you doing it?
I'm done. But I go back to this. Don't you think that the parents that are trying to control every aspect of their kid's life is because they don't have their spouses first in their relationship?
They
don't have their spouse first in their relationship, so they have got way too much, and the only thing they got in their life is wrapped up with their kids. That is bad for the kid, and that is bad for your marriage. I firmly believe, my wife is my number one. I love my daughter, but she's number two to my wife. Okay?
Sure.
That's my first and foremost relationship. Because if the relationship between my wife and I are not good, I'm setting my daughter up for a very bad life.
Right. Well, I look at this, too. You were talking about my godson earlier.
Yep.
Last year in January, we started kind of getting some different calls, different things going on. And the general census was, as a wide receiver, he wasn't fast enough. And, you got parents and other people, oh, he's great. And I go, bullshit. If that's what's being said, we got to go get better. Not we're going to.
But that was only because he wanted to get better.
Right.
But if he didn't want to get better,
you can't do anything about it. No.
Yes.
No. I think sometimes he wishes he wouldn't have told me that because I stay on his rear end about it. And the thing is a lot of times we kid ourselves with our children and think, oh, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it's because it's your kid. Just be honest and really look and go, okay. And a lot of times they may not even like what you have them doing anyways. Ava will look at you and go, hey, do you have to sweat to do that? Yeah, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
And then most parents go, we're signing you up anyways. We're not doing that.
You can encourage your kids and do all those things, but you also got to you got to help them, coach them from the sidelines with it all. So, if you don't like the way that the coach is handling the kids, right? You need to have a conversation with your kid on how to handle that situation, because in real life, when they're older and you're not there to be able to watch everything, they're going to have bosses they don't get along with. They're going to have peers they don't like and they don't get along with. You can't be there to go step in and save that relationship. You need to teach them. This is a perfect teaching moment of how they can make the best out of that situation. Like don't you want to make it to where when they go out to the real world that you've already let them hit their head and do all those types of things?
Oh, yeah, because if they don't, they're going to be...
Like Brighton started actually these last 5 days. She's already pulling herself up and standing up now. It's nuts. It just, like, she's crawling everywhere. She's not even 7 months. Crawling everywhere.
Watch out now.
Picking herself up and all that. She got a bruise on her head because she fell. I'm telling you, I wanted to get over there and stop that head from hitting so fast. It's unreal, but I couldn't. And she's got to learn that, though. I'm realizing that, like she's got to learn. She's got to fall, get back. And she was crying because she didn't want to go up that second stair. And Daddy just wanted to pick her up and say, it's okay, baby. But I didn't. I held back. And she had the resilience and crawled up the next stair.
Sure.
That's a little bitty example of grit that don't step in and fix the situation for your kid. And don't try to guide your kid's life for what you want.
Right. Let them be who they are.
And so you have a little more experience because you have some older ones. So, like, you've been through that a little bit more than me. When I've just got to, I'm talking about crawling up a step.
I've got a football player, I got a band nerd, I got an artist, and then I got a shopper. I mean, they're all different. They all...
The shopper's going to get you.
Oh, I know. You got one of those coming. I'm just telling you. Yeah. And the shopper's got a mouth. She's highly opinionated. But at the end of the day, I want them to be themselves at the same time, but inside the realm of the right thing, not, oh, my kid got in trouble, so we're going to move overseas or we're going to move to another school. I mean,
can't keep running from stuff. The real world
is going to catch them. I mean,
it's going to catch
them. And I think you'd say if you're Lavar Ball, it's okay. Like, I think you'd say it's okay to believe in your kids. It's okay to believe your kids are the best basketball players in the world 100%. If you want to believe that. It's okay to think that and encourage them, but you got to let them go out there and prove it on their own and either succeed or fail on their own. You can't force everyone to believe the same way you do.
And he's making his kid's life rougher.
What happens? What happens a year, 2 years from now, when that first one doesn't get drafted? The bottom line is he wants to go play in the NBA, right? Yeah. So what's going to happen? What's Daddy?
They don't know what failing's like because Daddy ain't let them.
Right. He can't control that.
Yep. No, you're right. Let them fall. Get a couple bumps on their head, little bruises on the legs. They'll be all right. They'll get back up. You know,
as Keyshawn Johnson used to say on Fox or the Sunday Ticket or whatever the hell he was on. Come on, man, that's some crap, man.
We're going to be right back for a third segment of Second Shot.
What do you?
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Keith Oakes still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
See, I love the third segment because this is the time that we get to take our listener emails and things of that nature and kind of go through them. And just reminders, everybody knows, secondshotcast@gmail.com. Send anything. A headline example you think you would like us to run, or just a story, or we don't care. Just send them all. We love to bring them up and recognize you on the air and kind of go through some of the things you have.
Yeah, this one you got today is actually pretty cool, man.
Well, and here's the cool thing about this one's got a little history. So, Jeff Rouleau and his son.
Did you say that right, by the way?
Look,
at the bottom of it,
Rouleau.
Okay,
Rouleau.
You said it wrong.
I know. Well, I
you
can't
can now confirm. I was going to say
this
later.
Speak.
But I can't confirm that Zach is smarter than Heath. Well, I can.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that before you even screwed that up. So
I just set it up and screwed it up for you.
I was going to do that later.
I don't think anybody's ever confused me for somebody that can pronounce things correctly.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Right? That's never been.
I think if there's one thing that's consistent on this show is that,
I'm good at making up words.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and making everybody else think that that's the normal way of doing it. Right?
You're good.
Yeah. So.
His son David wrote in.
Okay, yeah. David Rouleau. See, I said it right. He's a younger kid, 14 years old. He wrote in, had to write a topic on can revenge be morally justified, and he was asking, what we thought about that, right? And so we brought it up on the air and really kind of talked about it. And so his dad had sent in afterwards, basically kind of a, thank y'all. He goes, I was shocked, I didn't know. And what was it you said on here? Is basically addressing the question about the moral justification that his son David had. He was stunned whenever he was listening, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, wait, I know that name. Oh, wow. He didn't even know anything about it. So his dad just, on road trips and stuff, chooses to listen to positive, inspirational stuff. Like our podcast is one of, I'm sure is obviously one of the different podcasts he chooses to listen to, which I think is key, that he's listening to good stuff for his kid. Instead of, saying what you got to do, just that's what's feeding in his ear.
Sure.
And so his son just took it upon himself to email us and ask us that. He had no idea. And, he had a lot of pride whenever, he realized his son changed his mind already, that you can't morally justify the revenge. But what was it you said in here that you thought was?
Yeah, it says, kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the episode is, and in typical teen fashion, he didn't ask mom or dad for an opinion. He reached out to you. But the best part about that I see on here is when he said, which is fine by me. So he kind of let his son kind of, make his own decision and wasn't offended by it, or, didn't have Lavar Ball.
Yeah, he wasn't mad about it. He's like, you know what? No,
Let
it's
him be his
typical
own
teen.
self.
A teen is not a teen.
Right.
All teens think their mom and dad are not as smart as them. But again, but what I think about is this father's made a decision, though, that he doesn't listen to this bad stuff in his car. His dad obviously listens to positive, motivational things so what's going in his kid's ears every time he gets a chance to do it is something going to help his son versus the latter that a lot of parents will do is feed their stuff with a whole bunch of other crap. And I thought that was very cool. And like you said, instead of being like, why didn't you reach out to me? Why would you, look, I'm glad he did that,
Hey, David, I'd like to know what you what your grade was on your paper. Maybe you could shoot us a copy of it. We could read it or something.
David, that would be good. I'd like to see what you made.
Totally.
And if the teacher didn't give you an A, then just let us know. Maybe
it's all right. If it's like an English class, they can give you whatever they want because there's really no bad thing that you can say. I thought there was no wrong answer in English, but I learned that the hard way.
Well, somebody was asking me the other day, oh, you want to learn Spanish? I go, I didn't even learn English yet.
Right.
Hell, I ain't trying to pick up some other kind of language when I can't even use our own words properly.
Well, not to pat ourselves on the back, but how does that make you feel to know that this is a family thing for this family? It's driving around, listening to it together. They talk about the things that you talk about on here. They share the ideas. I mean, that's a pretty cool place to be.
But that's the whole point of this. That was the whole point of this whole podcast was to be able to try to, it's like trying to shed the light on the things that a lot of people aren't saying anymore. Like it is to be a cool dad, to be good to your wife should be a good thing, and to spread the messages that. That people want their kids to have. It was like writing my book, Ignorance on Fire. One of the biggest things I wanted behind that book was I was hoping that could be a staple that parents or grandparents would be giving kids and grandkids for high school and college graduations to set them on their life of some strong values to follow down their life. And understand. I don't make money on this podcast. This podcast costs me money, so I'm not doing it for money. You know what I mean? This is purely for giving back. I've been blessed. And I've been blessed to have good people around me. I've been blessed to have some fortune that I want to be able to try to give back and see if I can. And I love to see that dads sharing it with their sons and vice versa, that I would hope that is something, a part of my brand. That's what I would hope for sure.
And back to the PS, maybe not you, but I can confirm that Zach is definitely smarter than Heath. Okay,
I can confirm that for you myself.
I agree, but
I've never been the one to act like I was some kind of smart person. That's for sure. You look
good in the suit, though. You look good in the hat.
You like the hat?
Yeah, you look good in the hat. I mean,
and I think it's
incognito. I mean, being an A-list celebrity like you are.
Oh yeah,
Metroplex, you gotta kind of
come in with a hood up, a hat down. Nobody sees him.
Yeah,
look like one of them Kardashians running around out there.
Yeah. No, listen.
Paparazzi.
I was getting off the elevator the other day at the office, and this person looked at me and goes, "How do I know you?" Oh, is your wife Jenny and Chondo?
There you go.
I'm not the celebrity here. I'm not the one people know. I'm getting off the elevator and I get, Hey, don't I know you? Your wife is, yes.
Right.
Yes, she is.
That's not a bad place to be in either.
No, I mean,
No,
look,
not at
hey,
all.
my wife's hot as hell. Hell yeah, I mean, I'm in.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Robert married up himself. Don't let
Did
him
an
fool
okay
you on
job
it.
for sure.
Let me ask you this question because it goes back to something that you know who Sarah Blakely is. Sarah Blakely created Spanx. You probably don't even know what Spanx is.
I do know what Spanx are. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Hey, I know some males
That's-
that wear Spanx. Okay,
yeah,
not
let's
me.
not-
I'm
yeah.
not wearing a Spank. I'm telling you.
So Spanx, she created, and she was asking thing, how did she was a copy machine salesman before she created Spanx.
I
She
kind of
sold
knew that.
door to
but
door copy machines, 100% commission. I mean, this girl's tough, right?
Can she sell benefits?
Yeah, well, she's pretty much worth hundreds of millions of
That's
dollars.
okay.
I don't think she may
She's
start
gonna help
her,
us out a little
She may
bit.
start her own benefits insurance
Just she
company.
needs some benefits, maybe.
But she took her years to get Spanx going, and obviously was told it wasn't going to work. And she said that one time they asked, said, "What do you think why were you able to stick it out?" Everybody else talked about, we thought of that years ago, but she took action and made it work, right? She said, when I was a kid and sat around the table, my dad would ask us every night, "What did we fail at today?" That was one of those questions he kind of asked, right? What do you? And so I look at it like with this. I've been really trying to focus in on what are things I really want to do with my daughter. So like you, as having kids at all kind of ages, you have those kind of like big failing stories as a parent and things that you kind of wish you would have done more of, or would do more of, or that you are proud of that you've done, or maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: time is valuable. Sim's 18. He's been around since he was 8 years old. And by the way, his parents are wonderful people. So it's not like we had to adopt him or anything.
Just Godson.
Emmett's about to be 15. Ava is 8, and Aubrey is 11. And over the last 5 years, one of the things I realized was how fast that time moves. And you don't, especially from a guy's perspective, like we talked about on the previous episode, a lot of times you don't really wrap your head around that until it's too late. Mm-hmm. And, one of the biggest things that I try to push to my kids every single day, if I can't do anything else, is if you outwork everybody and you do it the right way, you're always going to be okay.
You're going to win.
Right. I always tell them, hey, we've been blessed to be able to do the things we get to do. I don't put you on the way I put you on so you can go out and mess around and jack off and not do anything. I do it so that you can go out and chase your dreams. And that's what I want my kids to know that they can do, and that's big to me.
And I want to give everybody a heads up on something they can do. Being a parent or not, this book would relate to you. It's called The Psychology to Success by Carol S. Dweck. Here's why this is important. It talks about a fixed mindset and growth mindset. It talks about business. It talks about having this mindset in your business, in your personal life, as a parent, as all these things. So it breaks it down into how you can use this growth mindset, fixed mindset when parenting and when being a spouse and in your business. It is absolutely phenomenal. I highly, highly encourage reading. This is one of my top 5 favorite books. I highly encourage you trying to understand and getting your head fully wrapped around fixed mindset versus the growth mindset and teaching it as a parent or not. I'll be reading it several times over and over. And I hope you all had a great new year. And I hope that you all sit down and doing your dream boards, your vision boards. I've talked about it in the past. My wife and I do our dream and vision boards. We have our new ones hanging up in the laundry room now. So create your dream boards, vision boards. Know where your spouse is and where they want to go so you can help encourage them. Be an encourager to your kids, to your spouse. Don't be the one directing their lives. Be an encourager. So, hey, let 2018 be the best you've ever had. Robert Halbert, they can find you where?
At LinkedIn, it's not very difficult. That's it. That's all I got.
He's got that long, Robert Halbert. And you can find me at Ignorance on Fire, at Heath Oaks, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. And maybe next time we'll see Zach in here to where he doesn't make Matt do all the work.
I believe he will be back next time we're
that's just crap leaving you with all the work. We love you guys. Have a good one.
Happy New Year.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.